Hi guys, in my previous two videos I talked about correct posture when playing the bass guitar, and also um, plucking hand technique using these two fingers. So if you haven't seen those videos, please have a look at those first, okay? Um, I'll put a link in the video description. So look just below the video and watch those two videos before you watch this one. In this one, I'm going to talk about, so we've talked about posture, we've talked about right hand or plucking hand technique. I want to talk about fretting hand technique, okay? So this is the hand which is making the bass change note. So with the techniques discussed for plucking the bass, you get 4 notes out of that, okay? You get your E, A, D, and G, and they're just your open strings, okay? Now by using this hand you can shorten the length of the strings and therefore increase the pitch of any given string. So if I put my finger on fret 3 here, for example, the first dot, okay, most basses will have a dot on that one. There will also be one here on the neck as well. There it is. That's going to shorten, it's on the E string, okay, it's going to shorten the E string and therefore make the pitch produced slightly higher. And the further you go, the higher it gets, okay? What we want to talk about is the technique that you need to use with this hand to produce those notes, okay? And the first thing I want you to do is take your hand and do that with it. Okay, that is the sort of position your hand wants to be in. You need the bass is quite a big instrument, and you need your hand to be able to go across those gaps. Okay. Now, for example, if you look down here, that's fret 1. Okay, and there's fret 3 that I played just now. I'm using the fingers that are furthest apart for that. I'm using my first finger and my little finger. I'm playing one note, starting with the lower note, which is an F. Okay, and then playing the higher note, which is a G. So first finger, little finger. Okay, they've got the furthest gap between the two, and that's quite a big space. Okay. Same frets on a guitar, frets 1, 3 would be slightly smaller. So. Okay, so that's the sort of position you want your hand to be in. Okay, round the back, your thumb is going to want to be on the. It's going to change slightly depending on what you're doing. It wants to be roughly in the middle of the back of the fretboard. Okay, so the back of the neck, and able to pivot like that. Okay, so seen from the front again, you're able to move about. Okay, but your fingers are still straight. Your knuckles are lined up with the fretboard. And it allows you to have the most freedom of movement with your hand, okay? You don't want your thumb to be like this or over the top, else, well, if it's over the top like it is now, it's very restricting. You can play notes, sure. You might even be able to get away with playing a simple bass line which doesn't have a lot of movement with the fretting hand, something that just relies on a few root notes in similar positions, for example. Something like that. You can get away with it, but if you're playing scales or different solo-y bits, you're not going to be able to do it, yeah? That's why you need that big open. Big open hand, okay? You don't want to push it out, you don't want to put strain on yourself pushing it out, and it might feel strange to begin with. Keep it nice and relaxed, but nice and open, okay? thing you don't want to do with your thumb, so you don't want it to be like that, because again, it just cramps your hand up. You don't want to be over the top for the same reason. Nothing you don't want to do, you don't want your thumb to be sort of here. Just has no use whatsoever being down there. In fact, you'd have to go out of your way to put it down there, I think. So if on the off chance you do find your thumb coming around there, bring it back up. Somewhere in the middle, okay? Nice spread hand. Okay, now that we've sorted that out, what do you actually do to produce the notes? Well, you have to push your, whatever finger it is you're using. So I just now talked about using the first and the little, okay? That's the only two I'm going to talk about in this one. Obviously these two are used as well, but to begin with, we're going to play a simple exercise using just this one and this one. And what you want to do is, in a similar place as this hand, when you're using fingers here, in a similar way, so we're plucking the strings, using that part of the finger, okay, just the ends of the finger, yeah, not the very top ends, but the sort of front, yeah, behind the nail, if you like. Similar thing with this hand, okay, to push down onto the fret, and that's exactly what you're doing. You're pushing down onto the fret, so you'll be touching the string and then pushing a little bit more to push it down. So just in touching the string, if you then try to pluck it, you get that, which is you call it a ghost note, okay? It's something that's used, but it's not the note, it's just a noise. Okay? To get the actual note out of the string, you want to push down onto the fret. Okay? And there's a certain position you want to push down to onto the fret, okay? So, if I come in a little bit closer, see where my finger is there? It looks as though it's over the fret marker. It's not quite over the fret marker, it's very close to it. It's as close to it as you can get, okay? And that's where you want to be. So as you're looking down on it, and assuming you're right-handed, if not, just reverse it, you are to the right of the fret, okay? As far to the right of the fret as you can get without crossing onto the next one, okay? If you do, you just end up on the next one. Okay? Now if you go on top of the fret marker, you'll get a horrible buzzing sound. If you go too far away to the left of the fret, you're in danger of the same thing, okay? Yeah, that is the sort of noise you want to avoid, unless you're trying to create some sort of special effect. Let's not worry about that for now. Okay, so you're as far right on the fret as you can be without crossing onto the next one. If you've got a dot on the fret, so you do on 3, 5, 7, 9, yeah, you've got some on 12 as well, and then higher up the neck, you just want to be to the right of that dot, okay? Yeah, you can quite clearly see that there. And you want to do that whatever you're doing, okay? So when it comes to playing scales and stuff like this, you're doing that with every finger, on every fret. Same with everything you play. Arpeggios, yeah, just and bass lines generally. Okay, so going back to what I did a little earlier, I did this exercise here where I went from fret 1 to fret 3. So I used the first finger on fret 1 and the fourth finger on fret 3. And as close to the fret marker as you can get it. So as furthest on the right of the fret as you can go without crossing on to the next one. And the same with all of them, okay? And all I've done is gone 1, this is talking in terms of frets now, 1, 3, 1, 3, 1, 3, 1, 3. So you're starting on the low string, you're going up to the high string. Okay, much like we did in the plucking hand exercise. You're just going up the string and using those frets each time. This isn't a specific scale. It's very nearly the minor pentatonic scale, but not quite. But it is a brilliant exercise for getting your getting the spread of your hand right, and also just generally getting used to fretting. Okay. Another thing to watch out for: don't be squeezing the neck in between your thumb and your fingers. It's just going to put unnecessary strain. It wants to be nice and relaxed. Okay. And that is the sort of sound you're after. No buzzing. Okay, nice firm notes. Yeah, that's all there is to it really. It'll feel strange like anything new to begin with, but practice it nice and slowly. It takes as much time as you need just to get the sound out of any one fret. And try it all over the place. Okay. There's so many frets and loads of different notes, so just have a go, have an experiment. Yeah, that should get this hand moving. Another thing, when you want to stop a note, there are two good ways of doing it. So if I pluck that, it will just keep on ringing until the note fades away, and that will depend on how new your strings are. If you've got really old strings, it'll be a little bit sooner than if you've got newer strings. But usually you want to stop the note before it will naturally stop itself. So one way of doing this is with your plucking hand. Okay, and that is to just stop the string. You can hear a little bit of buzz there, a little bit of a natural harmonic coming through. So that's something to watch out for, and you can be doubly sure of that not happening by using this hand as well. And we did this in the plucking hand exercise, where we used this hand as a mute when we were descending. And in fact, it's this hand you want to use the most to stop the fretted notes ringing out. Okay. So all you're doing to do that is lifting your finger off of the fret. Yeah, and you might end up with a natural harmonic or a bit of a buzz, but to stop that, you want to use the other fingers to mute the string as well. And then even a bit of this hand as well. And you can make sure you're doing that technique right by playing this exercise. The first way I played it was nice and smooth, nice and legato. If you play it nice and staccato, which is the opposite, so just short and choppy notes. If you get that with complete silence in between those short and choppy notes, then you're using the correct technique to mute the notes that you don't want. Yeah. Okay. Any questions at all, then feel free to leave a comment. Make sure you check out the website www.mkbasstuition.co.uk and also the Facebook page, which goes under the same name. Okay, thanks a lot.